Did you ever have a draft when you came out of it and go, wow, that was not good?
No, you always think that, when you pick players and your scouts do all the work, you look at your draft, it looks good on paper and you feel like you've done a good job. And but, personnel, it's funny. Sometimes, a guy you don't expect to do much, ends up doing well, and some guys that look like can't-miss guys, you can miss on. So that's the beauty of the draft.
Did things go the way you anticipated them going through the first 8 picks?
There's always you try to in your head, as best you can with all your scouts and all your personnel and all your coaches. What all the scenarios that could happen? And I think we talked about all these scenarios that could happen. And one of the scenarios that happened was what happened for us. Flowers, fell to us at 9 right there, and we feel like he's a terrific pick for us. We coupled value and need with that pick. We always try to take the best player on the board, but we're always conscious of what our need is as well. So there was a value and a need pick for us.
GMs always say we're going to take the best player on the board. And Don and I were talking about this on Friday. What would happen if the best player on the board was not need, and then the need guy was just a smidge below him? Would you take the need guy, or would you go with the best player?
Well, if they're really close, it's no, we don't penalize ourselves for taking a guy that's really close. We're not going to take a guy that we have. If we need an offensive tackle and we have a cornerback up there with a high first-round grade, and the next guy is a need position is offensive tackle, and he's got a third-round grade. We're sure not going to take the offensive tackle just because we need him and leave the top grade on the cornerback out there. We're not going to do that.
Now, the analysis on Flowers is, of course, he's humongous, but he's also nasty. Do you agree with that, and can you describe what exactly nasty means?
Well, the humongous part is, Tom Coughlin calls him an aircraft carrier. He is a gigantic man, and, he plays with that nasty streak, Don. And that's like, when, some guys block their guy, and this guy kind of gives him a little bit extra when he blocks his guy. And, so we like those kind of guys. We want to try to get back to Giants football. We've always had, when we've been successful, we've had, strong offensive linemen, with a little bit of a nasty streak, and this guy brings, a nasty streak, to our offensive line.
Now, does he project long-term as a guard or a tackle?
No, we think he's a tackle skill set.
Okay.
We think he's a left tackle skill set. But we don't know where he's going to play. I don't know where he's going to play. He's going to play somewhere. I do know that. Coach Coughlin, that's up to him and his coaching staff where they're going to play him. But everybody's saying that, maybe start him at the right tackle and move people into guard. So that's totally up to Coach Coughlin. But we do know that he'll play somewhere and he'll create a lot of competition. And we feel like we're finally getting our offensive line back to where we want it to be.
How much of a difference between Scherf and Flowers, because we kept reading that you guys really like Scherf, and he went to the 5th pick to the Redskins. Is there a big difference there?
Well, we did like Scherf. He's a terrific player as well. Eric Flowers has more of a true offensive tackle skill set. I do think Scherf can play tackle. I'd let him fail at left tackle, then definitely he can play right tackle, and then he's probably an all-star guard. But he can play somewhere in the offensive line and be one of those 10-year kind of players, just like we feel like, Flowers is going to be a 10-year kind of player for us.
Now, the aggressiveness to get Landon Collins, Jerry, does that come from just his sheer talent and making sure you're getting the best player available at 33, or was it because of the position he played and the need that you have there?
Yeah, Don, you hit it right there. We at the end of the draft, draft 3 days now. So after 32 picks, you look at your board, and there's a couple guys sticking out right there, biggest day for us. And one of those guys was Landon Collins, and we were saying, this guy, obviously it's a need. We had him high on the board at the time as well, and it's a need pick. So hey, we made some calls that night, let some people in front of us know that we're interested in moving up. Then the next morning, made some more calls and talked to some people, and throughout the day, and finally, talked with Rustin Webster, the GM of the Titans, and we made a deal, and we were able to go up and secure this guy. You can try to be cute and stay down there at 8 where we were picking, and so he could be off the board in 2 seconds. So we wanted to secure that spot. So and it's a premium spot, so we had to pay the price to go up there to get him, and we weren't afraid to do that, so we did.
We're talking with Jerry Reese, GM of the Giants. Jerry, is there ever any internal doubt, because you guys, most people had Landon Collins in the first round, and then he's still on the board? Do you look around at each other and go, did we miss something? Why is this guy dropped out of the first round?
Well, that's think about safeties. For a long time, people would not draft safeties or guards in the first round for whatever reason. I think it's a little different for both of those positions at this day and age in football. But nevertheless, we thought he was tremendous value up there at that point. And again, it was a need situation. And we looked at we liked the versatile safeties, Mike, and we brought Antrell Roll in there. He played all kind of positions for us. That's what they did with this kid at Alabama. He played on the back end. He played down in the box. He went out there on the slot receiver sometime and played some man-to-man. They brought him on blitzes. So he's a versatile, and he's got that winning pedigree in his background, and he's got a chip on his shoulder because he himself, I'm sure, thought he would probably be a first-round pick as well. So there's a lot of things to like. We got a very motivated player coming in here, and he'll challenge for a starting position right away, I think.
Now, Jerry, I call hockey games, so I've had to deal with some very difficult names. I'm not ready to tackle the defensive end from UCLA's name just yet. We're going to get a nickname for him, maybe O squared or double O, but I don't know if you've commanded a name yet, but tell us about your third-round pick.
Owa Adigizua.
All right, that's not bad.
How about that? Yeah, for a while it took us a long time to figure out Kiwanuka, but we finally got that.
That's right.
So we'll get this one sooner or later. But we just feel like he has so much upside. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He plays with a nasty streak. He plays physical. He has long arms. He has he only had 6 sacks, but he got all the attributes to be a skilled pass rusher at some point, with Spagnola and our defensive staff. It was too much value for us to pass up on a guy like that, and a young guy with all the potential to be a really good pass rusher. And I said, Justin Tuck was picked in the 3rd round. I'm not trying to compare him to Justin Tuck, but Justin was picked in the 3rd round, and this kid has all the reasons to be successful at that position. And so we feel like we got a really good pick right there with our 3rd round pick as well.
Now, obviously, injuries play into this, and you're waiting to see what Cruz has when he gets back. But after what you did in free agency and what you did in this draft, is this a complete team right now? Do you feel very good about this team going into the next season?
Yeah, we never say it's a complete team because you're always trying to upgrade your roster as you go along because, we'll have, the summer to go through and people will be tinkering around with their roster, and we're always looking at the waiver wire. And obviously when you get to the 53 cut, so there'll be more players. So this roster is not over with. We do feel like we feel good about the players that we have on the roster right now. Victor Cruz he's probably sounds like he's about. I was watching him a couple days ago downstairs. He's probably 85%, but he's running really nice and he looks great. And we're taking him at a snail's pace just so he won't have any kind of setbacks. And we expect him to walk out on the field against Dallas, opening night.
All right, so 2 offensive linemen in the draft. Is there still work to do on that O-line, Jerry? Are you pretty comfortable with it you have right now as we enter May?
Well, we think we've got the lion's share of it fixed with respect to the offensive line. Swartz is coming back from the injury. Witzberg is back at center. We got Pugh. However we play him and Flowers. Will Beatty is at left tackle. We got Marshall Newhouse that we brought in. John Jerry was a player for us last year. So all those guys would be some competition at that position. And we drafted Bobby Hart, who's a 20-year-old player that has winning in his pedigree too. He was a tackle for Florida State, and we think he's a guard skill set up here, so he'll create some competition as well. We drafted him with a late pick in the draft, so we feel good about a lot better than we've been in the past in our offensive line, but we'll continue to try to upgrade like we do all positions.
Now, I don't know if you'll answer this. He got taken early. He never dropped down to number 9, but I was intrigued. If Amari Cooper was at 9, would you have taken him after taking Beckham last year?
We would have a very good conversation about him, and we would try to make the best decision for the Giants. It's hard to say because we were not in that situation, but he is a terrific player, and it would have been a great conversation to have, but we didn't get a chance to have that.
All right, before I let you go, are you guys content with letting Eli play in the final year of his contract this year, or is there still discussions about extending?
Yeah, we're having some discussions about it. It's really not fair to talk about it, on the radio about a player's contract like that. But we're having some discussions about it, and we'll get all that figured out.